So here's how it all went down. I got squeezed out into this crazy world in 1942, give or take a year. Bit iffy on my exact age because I spent a hell of a lot more time celebrating my birthdays and counting them. I came from a real humble background, and my folks couldn't afford one of those fancy baby cribs. But my old man made sure this ankle-biter had a comfy spot to crash. Dad cleared out all the empty beer bottles from an old case of Schlitz, chucked a blanket in there, and provided young Joe with a nice place to crash for the first few months of his life. Even though we barely had a bucket to piss in, Dad saved the deposit money from the bottles for Joe's education. I eventually cashed it in a few years later and used it toward my first case of beer. I took in a lot more from drinking those brewhas than I ever did in any bullshit preschool, that's for shit sure. Not to brag or nothing, but they used to say I was pretty advanced for my age back when I was just a newborn nipsucker. Supposedly, I was a fairly chilled-out little tyke who preferred to kick back, relax, and check out the crop of sweet peaches bobbing by my stroller. The doc told my parents that in all his years doing medical shit that he had never seen such a young squirt reach up and grab a nurse's can. Unlike the other half-pints, I wasn't into walking or talking. I preferred flirting. I've always been blessed with nimbleness. Ask any of the thousands of women that I've been with before or after being vice president. They'll all vouch for old Joe. Doesn't matter which side of the aisle they're from. If there's one thing Pelosi and Bachmann agree on, it's that I can make the congressional ladies' room a lot more fun. So as far as motor activities went, my engine was rumbling. This tadpole quickly developed the pincer grasp and was successfully feeling up gals at just 2 weeks old. Most of them were aunts and family friends, but beggars can't be choosers, you know? Eventually, around 9 months or so, I got motivated to get moving when I spied a fresh can of beer on the coffee table. I quickly figured out how to crawl, and I snagged the ice-cold brewha. I chugged about half of it before my mom snatched it out of my hands. They said I bawled nonstop for 2 whole days. Sure, I was just a scamp, but young Joe learned his first valuable lesson. Sometimes things can be a bummer.